Hi, good evening. Happy Friday. I hope all is well. My name is Chantay. Welcome to a weekend review of this week's political headlines. If you want more, you can always watch on my Instagram feed, on my Instagram TV, or you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. So I'm just going to get into it because I'm not going to be that long because I know everybody wants to enjoy their whole entire weekend. So here we are. So according to the Johns Hopkins website, coronavirus.jhu.edu, the confirmed global cases is 145,289,885 cases of COVID. The global death toll is 83,440. So that's 3,083,440 cases of COVID. The U.S. confirmed cases is 31,991,750. So that's 31,991,750. The U.S. death toll is 571,197. And yes, we do have a major response. Today is also the anniversary of Donald Trump announcing to the world that, drinking bleach and injecting disinfectants will cure COVID. But guess what? He's not the president of the United States. It's Joseph Robinette Biden, and we are on a path to getting the country vaccinated. We're almost close to the herd immunity, but however, we still need to take our vaccines. We still need to make appointments. If you can make an appointment to a vaccine, that would be great. My status on my vaccine appointment is that I am on the waiting list at my clinic. So when my clinic calls me, I will get vaccinated with Moderna. Moderna is 94% effective, and Pfizer is 96% effective. There is a small single percentage chance of getting COVID, but you still have to get vaccinated and still wear your mask after getting fully vaccinated. It's important that you take your vaccines because taking vaccines will actually be much better. Yep, he said that right on national TV, and everybody was just like, huh? And also, it's the anniversary of me pretty much calling the former guy, the twice impeached one-term resident of the United States, on telling the American people to drink bleach. Hey, Zachary, to tell us to drink bleach. I'm sorry. Where do you hear that at? And why the president of the United States, the president at the time of the United States, is saying that? And even Joe Biden, as a candidate, had to announce on Twitter, I can't believe I'm doing this, but please do not drink bleach. He had to tell the whole world that. It's insane. But this is America, where there's actually stupid people that actually will vote stupid people in. And Donald Trump is not the first dumb person they voted in. I mean, crying out loud, they voted in Ronald Reagan and George W. Bush, excuse me. So there you have it, folks. But we're on the term of getting vaccinated. So if you can't get vaccinated and 16 years old and above, hopefully little kids can get vaccinated too, because they're the ones that are the asymptomatic people. So here it is. Oh, yeah, in Canada. Yeah. I mean, honestly, I don't want to be a racist of saying this, but I think it's a white people thing of voting in stupid people and a small percentage of black and brown people. I don't know. But if you get your vaccine, get vaccinated. But even if you get vaccinated, still wear your mask. If you got a double mask, do it. I double mask. I've been doing this since November, and I think it's the best thing. And I might be double masked during the summertime because people are nasty. So that is that. Now, getting into this whole thing that went on this past week with the murders of Dante Wright, Makisha Bryant, the young girl, on the same day that we got the verdict, is absolutely ridiculous. I said, even with this verdict of George Floyd, this verdict that Derek Chauvin is guilty on all accounts, murdering George Perry Floyd, we still got this shit going on. And this is exactly why we need to pass the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act. Yes, there still need to be some tweaks in it, but we still need to pass the bill. The bill passed in the House of Representatives. Now it needs to go to the Senate. The problem in the Senate is it's divided. It's 50 senators on both sides of the aisle. The 2 independent senators caucus with the Democrats. And you have one lone Democrat from West Virginia. That's right, Joseph Manchin III, aka Joe Manchin. I like to say people's first name because they're in trouble. Has a problem of passing any social reforms all of a sudden. Joe Manchin been a senator for like over 15 years. You had nothing to say during the Bush administration, the Obama administration, and the Trump administration. What the fuck is your problem with Joe Biden? And then it's like you served with Joe Biden. You served with him for a couple years before he became the vice president in the Senate chamber. So I don't understand what's the issue with you voting yes for these reforms, because people in your state need this shit as badly as anybody. West Virginia is one of the poorest states in the United States of America. That shit is ridiculous. And you don't want to pass these reforms. You don't want to approve a $15 minimum wage. Let's see. You don't want to, you're not sure about the Voting Rights Act. You don't want to kill the filibuster, even though it's a Jim Crow style. And now this, like, what the fuck? All of a sudden, it's a no. But it was okay for you to vote in Donald Trump's underqualified judges to the federal courts. It was okay for you then. You didn't even want to pass the fucking stimulus, which also helped your state. And then you have problems with the infrastructure bill. Where was that energy when you decided to vote for all of Donald Trump's underqualified cabinet members as well? Where was that, Joseph? Obviously, Joseph has nothing to say. But all I know is people keep dragging that ass for filth, and they need to continue to drag that ass. And Joseph Robinette Biden needs to call that ass out as always, as even the Senate Majority Leader, even though he's on this stupid progressive shit half of the time. But he is right about Joseph Manchin III. Like everybody else is. And Kristen Sinema is not that perfect neither, but she's not going to vote no on social reforms like the Voting Rights Act, or, you know, stuff that actually matters to people, even though she needs to get on board with that $15 minimum wage, because trust me, those Hispanics in Arizona is going to let her ass have it. They're going to eat her up for lunch. But back to Joseph, because Joseph is the one that's going to be the main fucking problem, because he's a whole entire ignorant ass redneck fool. So I hope, Joseph, if you listening out there, you need to get your shit together. Because if you hold up the Biden and Harris administration agendas and the whole Democratic Party agenda, you're going to be primaried in 2024. Don't get on him, Chantay. No, let's get on that ass. Because all of a sudden you want to make noise and want to be in headlines like a dumb motherfucker. So I don't care what nobody said. I'm going in on Joseph Manchin III all day, every motherfucking day. Yep. So I ram up that a whole segment, but we do need to pass the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act. So I don't want to hear nothing from the right, because we don't need their vote. We don't even need Tim Scott's vote to pass the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act. Nobody don't need to make concessions to his black ass. Nobody don't need to. We just need to vote for that bill. And so law enforcement officers, including in my state, in my city in particular, can be held accountable for all the shit that they have done and now still doing. Because it's important to pass that bill. That bill was authored by the former chair of the Congressional Black Caucus, Karen Bass, members of the CBC, including the then senator, now vice president. So people want to know what the CBC is doing? The CBC did that. They did that. So people need to keep the CBC name out their mouth. Now I can move on to my last topic, which is, and yes, I'm going to get on them, the so-called progressives. And I say so-called because progressives don't say they're progressive. Real progressives actually get shit done. They are a little left to more establishment, politicians, but they don't boast their political views on anybody or impose it on anybody. They do what they got to do. And those are real progressives. They do that. So for these online progressives, the ones with the blue checks and their fan base, to get mad at something that is actually true is just so dubious. So, if those who have followed me on Twitter, this week, I tweeted about Hillary Clinton. It was a video that went viral. Hi, Queen Lion, I'm so sorry. Wagwan. I have retweeted a video, as I mentioned, about Hillary Clinton, of something that she was for. And it all started with an article from Jacobian, which is a progressive news site, that said that Bernie Sanders wants to lower the age requirement for Medicare. So everybody was just like, he's thinking that all of a sudden? Where was that energy back in 1993 when he was in Congress as a representative in the lower chamber? Because the last person that advocated for it was Hillary Clinton. So I tweeted this. For those praising Bernie Sanders on proposing to lower the age eligibility for Medicare, it was actually then First Lady Hillary Clinton who came before the Senate back in 1993. And it was the Clinton task force that she was a part of. And I forgot which committee she went before, but I'm assuming it was the health committee in the Senate. So she came before them. So for people in the Bernie camp to say that that's not true, it definitely is true. But as she quoted my tweet, she put emojis of eyes. So I'm going to explain this again. I tweeted something about Hillary Clinton, which was true, because she was for lowering the age eligibility requirements for Medicare, even though these left-wing publications praised Bernie. And she saw the video. The video went viral. I didn't intend it to go viral. And she just put eye emojis. And all of a sudden, as she put these eye emojis, you got these progressive jackasses pretty much just, disrespecting her. You got someone that said, go fuck yourself, war criminal. And then you have some of them that just basically just say, how many times you going to do this to teach you a lesson, you old hag? But the ones that drew the most attention to me, I am going to read them. Because I think they're fascinating and I think they need to be publicly acknowledged for all the reasons it need to be so. So I am going to start with a particular someone. Miss Hopper, Katie Hopper, the Bernie Sanders surrogate who had a show on Rolling Stone magazine called Useful Idiots with Matt Tibby, who was recently fired after trying to bring, I guess, Assad on her show, or somebody that was in his alliance. For some reason, I don't know, but Rolling Stone was not happy with that, and they let her and Matt go. After she denied the allegations, they didn't let her go. So here is the tweet that she tweeted about me. It was a thread, but I'm going to read the part that was specifically about me. When people responded, she played the victim as if she weren't engaged in the exact toxic and abusive behavior she and K-High project onto Sanders supporters. But she's mild compared to other trolls Hillary has elevated, corresponded with, and had her photo taken with. So like I said, I'm just going to be clear. I did not take a photo with Hillary Clinton. Never even met Hillary Clinton before. She was my senator for 8 years in New York, because I live in New York, born, raised, and still currently live here. And let's see. I wasn't part of the K Hive yet until like May or June, something like that, because I always loved Kamala, but I was never part of a clique because I always rolled solo dolo. And I'm still a solo dolo person. I just so happen to be friends with most of the people in the K Hive because that's just how we roll. And you're not going to disrespect people that has been kind to me or nice to me. And lastly, I don't troll anybody on the internet. If anybody is doing the trolling, it's people like Katie Harper and her clique who troll people like me, who constantly troll people like Kenny, like Reese, and many others on Twitter. So miss me with that bullshit. But I need Katie to understand that venting online does not help your problems. I know things are hard. I know things are rough. I recommended therapy to her, but I think she needs more than therapy. I think she just needs to stay off the fucking internet, period. Because it's not helping her. Because every time when she does her podcasts, her face looks like she's struggling. Her hair is a struggle. Her face is a struggle. Look like she's breaking out of, hives on her face. It's a whole entire motherfucking struggle. The meltdown is serious. And it's comical, but it's sad at the same time because you're doing all of this to make yourself relevant and you just making yourself look extra crazy. Like you look sad. You look like you're about to have a whole mental breakdown on the internet. And everybody's witnessing it right now. That's why she's on that list of people that's going through things, and she's one of them. So I hope, Miss Harper, I hope you really get some help because you're going to need some help. You look like you're struggling just to maintain some sanity. So that's my word of advice for you. Go see a counselor. Now, Miss Gray. Oh, Miss Gray. Miss Gray, Miss Gray. Miss Gray is a pussy. She's a punk. Because I am about to dig in her ass next. Because she got so much mouth, but no action. I have a long list because I tweet all the time, so I'm trying to find that tweet so I can read that ass for filth, because it's time somebody read her for filth. It's like she always go unscathed at times. And people are scared to do it. I'm not no punk. Never was and never will be. And just those are just the facts. So oh my God, this shit is so long. Why? Okay. Sorry, y'all. Here we go. I found it. Ha! So, Brianna Gray was also one of those ones that was pressed and jealous at the fact that I was retweeted. Well, my tweet was quoted by Hillary Clinton. So, here is what Miss Gray had to say about you-know-who. Hillary Clinton tweeted, the K-Hive woman, just say the black woman, who recently put at Marianne Williamson a number of other progressives on hit lists. I hope she apologizes and disavows this kind of toxic hate-fueled politics. And then she posted something of the gray zone like it's some source. So here's my thing. Miss Gray. Because I've been dying to do this all week. Even though I did it before, but I need to do it again. So the 2 last reads I gave you wasn't enough. It wasn't. Because obviously you're still acting like a whole entire ass. Now I know things have been a little rough for you for a month now. I know you're losing viewership is down by 85%, which that's pretty bad. Well, actually, it's very bad. Let's see. You can't get booked on any major news networks to provide your analysis because you're such a troll on the internet to the point where everybody knows it and see it and don't want to be bothered with you. What else? You're just not an appealing person, even though you're very beautiful because you're not ugly, but your attitude just overshines it all. And your podcast, Bad Faith, even though, like I said, it's down by 85% of the viewership, it's boring. It's no substantive conversations, and none of the stuff that you say actually makes sense. So you're losing all your relevancy. So the only way for you to be relevant is to troll Hillary Clinton just because I basically told the truth about you. And I wasn't wrong. I prayed on that list that I made before writing it because I felt like you particularly have been a troll. You've been nasty to people, including then Senator, now Vice President, and you're still nasty to her. You have all this smoke for black women, but when it comes to people approaching you or calling you out, especially black women, you run like a little punk. When I put out that list, you quoted my tweet, but then deleted it like the punk that you are. So, Miss Gray, as I said, you can apply for affordable housing because you're going to probably need to do it soon. It's nothing wrong. I did it before. You get a great apartment. You do. And you might have to get a regular job to polish that resume because no major news network is going to book you because you're just mean and nasty. So, Miss Gray, instead of focusing on people like me, even though I plan not to be on major news networks because that's not my desire, try looking for a real 9-to-5 because you're really going to need to. Because I see a path that's going for you that's not going to go in the direction that you want to go in. And it's because of your own doing. So, go on Indeed and look for some work. It's my best bet to you. Now, of course, we have to go to the socialists. And y'all know who I'm talking about. The socialists. And those who don't know who I'm talking about, I will read the tweet for you. I'm going to look for it because this person here seems like they have all the smoke for me. Did not quote my tweet, but so scared of me. And it's okay. It's fine. I'm not that harmful. So I'm just trying to find it. When I find it, because it was here. I don't know, he deleted it. I don't know what it was. Okay, so here we go. Oh! So, Yeah. It's two tweets. I have to address them. Okay, so here we go. So the socialist that I refer to is Ryan Knight, Proud Socialist, formerly known as Proud Register. So he screenshotted because he is such a punk that he couldn't even have the balls enough to quote my tweet. So here we go. Laugh my ass off at Hillary Clinton is quote tweeting the K-Hive troll who put a bunch of real leftists on a hit list. Ah. So, Mr. Socialist, well, no, I'm going to address you by your name. So, Ryan, for the last fucking time, because I guess you're slow and you can't comprehend. After all, you didn't go to college. So, here it is. In the context of you will go through some things pretty soon, means if you keep doing wrong to others or wishing bad on others, you will go through some things. That's what that means. You will experience something called, karma. And obviously, I think you're experiencing it now. You're just not showing it on Twitter. You're not having a mental breakdown like Katie and Brianna is, but you will experience it soon. It's going to affect you because I heard your viewership is down too. I mean, after all, Amped Up don't really have that many followers. Your podcast, not on Twitter. Not that many followers. Because you don't make any sense when you talk. You're using big words in a sentence where it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make the connections. No, it doesn't. And keep in mind, I have issues with my grammar from like many moons ago that still somehow plays an effect today. But the difference is, I never try to act like I am the smartest thing in the world or try to use too many big words in one sentence. Never did. Never had to. But if you know how to read, and I'm going to read the tweet again. The following progressives may go through some things pretty soon. Means if you keep doing the same bullshit online, trolling, insulting people, you're going to go through some real tough shit. And it just won't affect you. It will affect people that are closest to you. Family members, spouses, partners, children. That's what that means. So I'm going to need for Mr. Knight to actually start reading books. Work on his comprehension skills, because obviously those are skills that he just don't harness, in my opinion. And also he said something else too. He said, this is the K-Hive troll that Hillary Clinton retweeted today. The Democratic Party hates leftists more than it hates Republicans. Actually, that's not the case. I don't like the Republican Party. I never did. I was born in a Republican administration which did the most harm to black people. I am an 86 baby. That makes me 35. As of this past Wednesday, I turned 35. And Ronald Reagan was the worst motherfucking president during that era. So you guys are equally matched. I mean, the leftists are more like the extreme right in the Republican Party. You guys share same commonality. So if anybody that is blue MAGA, it's folks like Mr. Knight, Miss Harper, Miss Gray, Miss Ball, Mr. Bragman, Mr. Serrata, and more. You guys are the blue MAGA. You guys are adjacent to the red MAGA. And hate is a very strong word. I don't hate people. I dislike attitudes and dislike, hurting people's feelings, targeting people, harassing. And Ryan Knight is the biggest motherfucking troll on Twitter. He's such a horrible, deplorable ass fucking troll that no big media company, whether small or big, want to fuck with him. They're not even funding his podcast, which is complete and utter bullshit. That's right. Nothing he says out of his mouth makes absolutely no fucking sense. You punk asshole, Ryan Knight, because you are a punk, because you can't face me. Because why you can't face me? Because I tell the truth. You blocked me once. People like, Chantay, block him again. No, because I want to see what the fuck he says about me. He screenshots my tweets like the punk ass he is and talks about me as if we share the same body parts. And no, I am not misgendering the man. But when you act like a softie, I'ma treat you like a softie. If you was a real man, you would have approached me. You could DM me. I am open to DMs. When Jason Overstreet and I had a disagreement, he DM'd me and it was respectful. That's why I actually have a little bit more respect for Jason Overstreet when I ever do for a privileged ass white leftist like Ryan Knight. And for you, and I'm going to read this tweet again. This is the K-High troll that at Hillary Clinton retweeted today. The Democrat Party hates leftists more than it hates Republicans. I don't hate anybody. I don't. What I will not stand for is people harassing others and harassing people of color. Women of color in particular. And Ryan Knight, Walker Bragman, and David Serrata harasses women of color if they don't agree with them. That makes them misogynistic and racist as fuck. And if you got a problem with me calling Ryan Knight, Walker Bragman, and David Serrata racist, then you can pass the fuck on through from this video because I tell the truth all day, every day. Those three men with the worst hairlines in the world have so much bark and no bite. They all need to revisit their barbers before they talk shit about any motherfucking body on this Bird app. They're not attractive men. Gay or straight, they're not attractive. And I know a lot of attractive gay and straight men. And none of them wouldn't even touch them. Walker Bragman's haircut looked like a hot ass mess. His whole face looked like it's a whole zit. Ryan Knight looked older than his age. And so was David Serrata with his hairline, who looked like he's 65. So, Mr. Knight, instead of focusing on my tweet, you should focus on that hairline. Focus on your content. And stop being a motherfucking troll on this Bird app because you may get some funding for that failing ass podcast. So that is my rant about them. And for the Rose Twitter caucus, I'm talking to you. If you don't like what I have to say, then don't read my tweets. Don't comment, nothing. Because I speak the truth all day, every day. And I will continue to. And no, I don't hate people. I just call people out for the dumb shit that they do. And say. So if you got a problem with me calling out your progressive faves, pass on. Don't even bother. Because you don't want this smoke. And now, I said I was going to end this, but I had to talk about this. So in the next 3 weeks, there will be or almost 2 weeks, there'll be a mayoral debate, a New York City mayoral debate. And I'll be watching it on my iPad because I don't have any of the Time Warner channels. Unfortunately, I have Verizon Fios. So I'll be watching it. And if you're wondering who I'm supporting, I am supporting both Maya Wiley, which I donated to her, and I will be donating to Mr. Adams. I feel like they have both visions for New York that is forward thinking and that will help affordable housing and etc. Some people don't like the fact that I also will support Adams because he's a little sketchy. I grew up in the city, and yes, he was a cop, and yes, he was a Republican for only 4 years. There's people that switch parties all the time. Look at Bernie and Elizabeth Warren. Because he's black, he switch a party, so what? I mean, I will support them both. I just want Maya in particular because I'm more concerned about Maya because it seems like there's some Warren folks that's running her campaign and they trying to make her run as this kind of like womanist person. No, Maya is a public servant. Just like any other women that are running in this campaign, they are public servants. Well, at least most of them are, right? So my best bet for her is to talk to more of the older black folks because they will carry you through the primaries because they actually vote in primaries and they vote Democratic. So if you want their vote, my best bet for you is to talk to them more. The best thing that she is doing, she is going to more neighborhoods of color. She just don't need to court these gentrified folks because they don't go to the primaries. It's the older black folks that have lived in New York City for years and years and years and years and years. Those same ones that give you candy at church, they're the ones that will carry you through victory. So I hope and pray that she comes out on top. And if not, I hope Adams does too. Because Andrew Yang is not fit. He's not qualified. He having issues with the LGBTQ community. And they're a big ass community too. And they're the ones that will, they're the second group that will carry you through victory. So if I was, Wiley and Adams, I will use that against him and use all his inexperience against him. So that's my advice. But if you got a problem with me saying that Andrew Yang is unqualified, you can go and fuck yourselves. Because I said what I said. So I'm going to wrap this up because it's getting late. And thank you for watching. And I will see you next Friday. And remember, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Like, share, subscribe. And follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Okay? Have a good night.